on what you choose to love. I watched a woman in the market yesterday hold a piece of cloth to the light, turning it slowly, studying how the color changed with each angle. She was not buying anything, she was loving something. And I thought, as I often do when I witness such small devotions, that this is the secret engine of a human life. What we choose to love determines everything. You will become what you give your love to. This is not poetry, it is mechanics. The woodworker's hands come to resemble the grain of the wood. The gardener begins to think in seasons. The one who loves gossip slowly becomes hollow, while the one who loves the stars slowly becomes vast. You are, at this very moment, being shaped by your devotions, the way water shapes stone. Not quickly, not dramatically, but with absolute certainty. If you wish to know who you will be in 10 years, do not look at your plans. Look at what you love today. And here is what makes this both wonderful and a little alarming. Most of us have never deliberately chosen what to love. We love what was handed to us. We love what sparkled first, what made the most noise, what everyone around us seemed to love. There is no shame in this. It is how we begin. A child loves sweets before it loves bread, and no one blames the child. But you are no longer a child, and at some point, the question deserves your full attention. Of all the things competing for your devotion, which ones are worthy of it? I do not mean you should love only serious things. That would make for a very grim life, and grim lives tend to collapse under their own weight. Love the smell of rain on warm stone. Love the absurdity of a cat who stares at a wall for 20 minutes as if receiving divine instruction. Love a good meal, a strange cloud, the particular way light falls through a window in the late afternoon and makes everything in the room look like a painting. These small loves are not trivial. They are the thread that stitches your days together into something you can actually bear to wear. But notice what happens when you give your love to things that cannot love you back in any meaningful way. I mean the hollow pursuits, the ones that consume your hours and leave you, at the end, with nothing but the faint nausea of time poorly spent. You know what these are for you. I do not need to name them. You feel it in your body when you have spent an evening in their company. A kind of thinness, as though you have been eating but not being nourished. Compare this to how you feel after an hour with a dear friend, or an afternoon spent making something with your hands, or a long walk in which you thought carefully about something that matters. You return from these things fuller than when you left. That fullness is the sign. Follow it. There is a particular courage required in loving what is real, because everything real can be lost. The garden will freeze. The friend will move away or grow old. The bread, no matter how perfect, will go stale by tomorrow. This is where so many of us falter. We begin to love only what is safe, which means we begin to love only what is small. We keep our devotions shallow so the grief, when it comes, will be shallow too. But I have found, and perhaps you have as well, that shallow love does not protect you from deep pain. It only ensures that when the pain arrives, you have nothing beautiful to show for it. Love deeply then. Love the things that will break your heart, because they are the only things worth holding. Have you ever watched the last light of evening settle on a hillside, that golden hour when every blade of grass seems lit from within? It lasts perhaps 15 minutes. You cannot keep it. You cannot even photograph it properly. Something essential always escapes the frame. And yet those 15 minutes are more valuable than whole years spent in the pursuit of permanence. Because beauty does not ask to be preserved. It asks only to be noticed. And your noticing, your willingness to stop and be moved, is itself a form of love so pure it needs no object to complete it. I want to say something about people, because they are the most important thing you will ever love, and also the most confounding. People will disappoint you, not because they are cruel, but because they are people, which is to say, they are works in progress, just as you are. Love them knowing they will forget your birthday and say the wrong thing at dinner, and occasionally be so magnificently, bafflingly selfish that you will want to laugh, because the alternative is to scream. This is not a flaw in the design. This is the design. We are given to each other imperfect, so that love can be a practice rather than a feeling. Feelings require nothing of you. Practice requires everything. And here perhaps is the deepest truth I can offer you about love. It is not something you find, it is something you build. Every morning you wake and choose again what to attend to, what to care for, what to pour yourself into. These choices are quiet. No one applauds them. But they are the architecture of your life. And when you are old and looking back, they will be the only architecture that remains. Not what you achieved, not what you accumulated, but what you loved, and how well, and how bravely. So I leave you with this. Sit for a moment if you can and ask yourself honestly, what am I giving my love to? Is it worthy of me? Does it make me larger or smaller? Does it bring me closer to the life I want, or does it merely fill the hours until that life arrives? You do not need to change everything at once. You do not need to change anything at all today. But begin to notice. Begin to choose. The river does not carve the canyon in a single afternoon, but it never stops moving, and eventually the whole landscape is transformed. There is so much left to love. I hope you will be generous with your attention. I hope you will be reckless with your wonder. And I hope, when you look back on this one brief and luminous life, you will find that you loved the right things, the true things, the things that shone not because they were perfect, but because you chose to see them clearly. Yours, in the long practice of devotion.